Hi friends. Another thing that has been on my mind a lot is gossiping. Gossiping is a subject that has always kind of thrown me off, and it's because it was ingrained in me so much. You don't gossip. We don't gossip. It's not Christ-like to gossip. And through the years, I've really thought about this. So what is the law? What is the commandment from God? What is the purpose that no gossiping is being taught, versus how do I break free from my prisons when somebody is hurting or abusing or causing problems. And sometimes the line is very clear for me, but I'm not able to, or I feel that I'm not able to communicate to others. Otherwise I shame myself and sometimes feel shamed by other people. An example of this is that my mother-in-law lies a lot. I've caught her in many lies, some of them very hurtful and some of them just stupid lies. And I've always wanted my children to have a good relationship with their grandma, because they don't have a relationship with my mom. And the other day I said to, I can't remember the context, but we were talking about some of the things from my past, and I've been going through my journals and preparing for a book that I'm about to record on audiobook. And I think that was why the subject came up. But I told the kids, Grandma lies. She lies a lot, and I've caught her in many lies and that have been hurtful to me and others. And as the automatic thoughts in my mind, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have talked to about your mother-in-law that way. Forgive and forget, move on. And so sometimes this is a really challenging thing for me. As I try to talk to my friends and kind of relate to them how I'm feeling or how things kind of been going for me, sometimes I struggle with finding the right words for them to understand how I'm feeling or what I'm trying to say. An example of this is that I just went to dinner with a couple of friends that invited me, which was very kind, from my ward, from my church. And they were asking me how the past couple of weeks had been going, because I had reached out and asked for help. And as I explained, the things that I had been struggling with my husband, the way that I struggled talking to the bishop, the church leader, about what was going on, as I tried to describe how these things affect me still now, the sexual abuse and the rape still affects me today, and how my husband's pornography use in the past affects me today. And what I get in return is sometimes judgment. Well, forgive and forget. Move on, just and these friends were a lot nicer than some of my friends in the past, but the same kind of thing popped up for me, where I was trying to express how this is a common thing for me, that that I'm not being seen, that I'm not being heard, and that I'm struggling and people are pushing it aside. And anyways, I come back from these kind of conversations feeling a lot of guilt and shame and conflict in my head about, well, I should have just, only said the nice things. I shouldn't have brought up this or that. And many years I didn't talk to anybody about my husband's pornography use, for example, because I didn't want anybody to think badly of him, because I love him, especially because it's in the past now. But I found that it was a part of my story, something that hurt me tremendously, and that I needed to speak out and have a friend understand. And so I've come to the conclusion that I need to start using more I feel statements. Like, instead of saying, I felt, or I said, saying the bishop, like, wouldn't look me in the eyes. He was kind of dismissive. He turned my attention back to forgiving and forgetting my husband's past instead of actually solving the problem. I mean, sometimes words like that can be received by other people as attack, I guess. And so maybe if we use more feeling words, like, I felt unseen when the bishop wouldn't look me in the eyes. I felt unheard when I was trying to articulate what I was feeling, and it seemed to go right over his head. I don't know, that's not a good thing either, probably. But when I tried to articulate what I had been going through, I felt that it wasn't understood. Maybe because I didn't use the right words, or maybe because the bishop hadn't had the same experiences as I had, or I don't know. But the thing is that this fear of gossiping, this fear of being unrighteous by shining light on something is kind of ridiculous. This niceness culture that we have in many of our churches is not helping us heal, not helping the victims heal. And so the emphasis on this, I think, should be done away with. Gossiping is when you're telling a lie about somebody, when you're unnecessarily stretching the truth, or maybe even spreading something around when it didn't matter, or when somebody's really trying to change and it didn't really affect you enough to keep bringing it up. That's could be considered gossiping. But I think mostly the making up of stories that benefit you and not the other person would be gossiping. But if you're telling the truth about a problem that is continually hurting you, or if you're protecting somebody, like, I was trying to tell my daughters, like, grandma's not perfect either, that she lies a lot, be aware of that. And I think that's okay. And so, anyways, I hope that helps.